Nipoark. Either of you guys can hear us. Give me a thumbs up on Spaces.
How's it,
Thought he was
everybody? And a warm welcome to the Web3 show. I'm your host, Philip Kalinko, joined by my friend Kate Bergman from the George Kingdom, and together we bring you Freestyle Fridays. A reminder that nothing we say is financial advice. We are not financial advisors, and if you haven't already noticed, the Web3 space is incredibly risky, so you should always do your own research. In today's show, we're going to explore the crypto market absolutely flying. We've got banks in America and the UK being bailed out left, right, and center. We've got GPT-4 that's been released. Starbucks released a 2000 NFT collection of their Odyssey. We've got Pokémon that's looking for a Web3 advisor, and I am taking that, not Cade. We got Planet Hollywood and Animoca, and much, much more. To everyone who's joining us on YouTube, thank you for joining us. To everyone who's joining us on Twitter Spaces, thank you for joining us. On the Twitter Spaces side of things, we're just going to be testing today and broadcasting. But when we get close to the end, we will open up for speaker requests and questions and things like that. But for now, we're just going to run through all the topics and everything. Everything okay there from a technical perspective, Kate?
Almost. The thing is, you disappeared on Spaces, but I don't think there's anything you can do about that. It's you just disappeared on Spaces. I don't know. You're still tagged at the top, and your tweet with the YouTube link is at the top either way. So I feel like we should just let it run anyway, because it can't hurt, you know.
Okay, so let's let it run. I will join as just a listener shortly as well. But for now, let's get into market update. So we have a look over here. And we see some green and nice prices. Ethereum up 4% on the day, $1,723. We've got Bitcoin up 8% on the day, $26,000. We've got Solana at $20. We've got XRP sitting at 37 cents. We've got Doge at 7 cents. So a really green day and a green week on the markets. If we have a look over here, we've got the stock market, mixed bag. You do have some technology stocks up, other ones are down. Overall, it's been a good 2 or 3 days on the stock market, pretty much like crypto, but an average week. I just want to show you here where the really good performers in the last 24 hours leading the charge. We got Bitcoin 8% up on the day, followed by Ethereum. Gala Games is 0.04 cents, up 4.5% on the day. Solana also up 4% on the day. Apecoin flat at $4.01. And if we have a look at the NFT marketplace volume in the last 24 hours, we'll see that Blur, with all their wash trading, has done 45 million. Hard to know what the actual number is. OpenSea has done 15 million. CryptoPunks alone, 4.5 million. X2Y2, 1.4 million. Immutable X, a million. If we remove Blur, or maybe call Blur the same as OpenSea, so 15 million, we get to 35 million in total in the last 24 hours. So definitely been a lot going on in the crypto market, the stock market, NFTs, not so much. And that is your market update.
Hell yeah, dude. See people in TikTok, see some people trying to join live. So, Noble, this is not my live stream. I'm on Philip's show right now, so I can't go live on TikTok with you because I can't hear you. But maybe next time. But I'm excited to get talking, bro. But there's a bunch of fucking stuff to talk about this week.
For sure. And the biggest news is that Kate has dyed his hair blonde. He looks like a lion. He looks like an absolute lion. He looks gorgeous. If I wasn't taken already, Cade, then you know what I would be. I would be sending you a message right now. Just going to join the spaces quickly. I know it's not going to allow me to be.
Well, for people who are while you're doing that, for people who are excited about next week, y'all already know NFT LA is next fucking week. I will be there. Look for the glasses. I will never take the glasses off for the entire trip. 4 days straight. I'm sleeping with them. I'm showering with them. I'm working out with them. I'm going to attend conferences with them. The glasses will be on. The gold mane will be on. I'm not going to be dyeing my hair again before. So I'll see you guys next week. I'll be there rolling around with Andres. I'm hopefully going to meet up with Crypto Wendy when she's up there. I'm going to her talk, and I was supposed to go on her show this morning, but I was getting new Wi-Fi, so unfortunately took a massive L because I would have loved to go on her show again. But I'm very excited for NFT LA. NFT NYC is in about a month. I'll be there as well. I'll also be swinging by Miami, I think. Is that me? Unfucking believable. There's no way that just Wait, let
We've
me
lost,
mute myself for 1 second. Do you hear that?
no problem. We've lost Cade, yeah. We've lost your audio. Alrighty, guys, let's get straight into what's trending over here. We
No
will
way.
do this. Just have to do that. Alrighty, what's trending? So if we have a look here, the top sales in the last 24 hours, we've got an ordinal pull number one at 108 Ethereum, and the rest are all CryptoPunks. If we look for the last 7 days, we've got the top sale for Denza at 380. WETH bid was accepted on OpenSea, so that's about $545,000. We got a Nazuki that sold for 191 Ethereum. We got a Satoshi that saw a Bitcoin Satoshi. It's called Satoshi number 129 out of 999, and that sold for 170 Ethereum. If we look at the trending collections, CryptoPunks continues to trend and is sitting in the number one spot. They are currently sitting at about 70 Ethereum, so they're way up. We've got Mutants in number two spot. Then we've got HV-MTL in number three. That's the heavy metal. We're actually going to talk about that now. We've got Other Deed sitting at 1.6 ETH. Doodles sitting at 3.6 Ethereum. Bored Ape Yacht Club at 66 ETH. Moonbirds just under 4. Azuki at 14.5 ETH. Bored Ape Kennel Club at 6.7. And Clone X at 3.4. If we have a look here, the HV heavy metal from Yuga. So let's first have a look here. Currently, you've got 17,000 items that have been minted, but in total, there's going to be a collection of 30,000. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be 30,000. Currently 17,000. We've got a 45% owner distribution ratio, floor price of 2.15 Ethereum. If we have a look at the activity, you can see over here, highest it hit. Yeah, and remember there are some rares I'm going to show you now. Different ones are more rare than other. The floor on the really rare ones is, I think, about 25 ETH or something like that. So that's why the chart doesn't really show you properly. You can see if we go to outliers here, there's sales at 30 ETH, there's sales at 20 ETH, there's sales at 10 ETH, there's sales at 2.5 ETH. So just to show you what's going on here, you've got the level 7 of these is a floor price of 25 Ethereum, and that's the rarest of them all. At level 6, the floor price is 8.5 ETH. At level 5, the floor price is 3.8 ETH. And then level 4, 3, 2, and 1, the floor price is all very similar at the moment. So level 4, the floor price is at 2.7, but level 3 is 2.5, level 2 is 2.45, and level 1 is 2.4. The floor of the actual collection is level 1. So it might be an opportunity to pick up, something like a level 4. Going to be hard to see. So just to show you the hollow rank, so legendary, there's only one. So there's one legendary, that's it. Hollow, there's from 2 to 250. So there's going to be 249 hollows. Then the next rare trait would be Reaver, which is 251 to 1,250. So there's going to be just under 1,999 of those. Then you've got Celestial. There's going to be from 1,251 to 4,250. So that's about 3,000 of those. Then you've got Night, where there's going to be 5,000. Bio, where there's going to be 6,000. Dynamic, where there's going to be 7,000. And then Glitch, where there's going to be 8,000. And for those of you watching on YouTube, you can see the visual of the different ones over there. But nice when a legendary is actually a legendary, because there's literally only one of the legendary ones over there. And then if
I just found out about this last night.
Yeah, talk.
I was just saying, I only learned about this last night. I literally know nothing about it. Cole literally texted me. He's like, yo, you heard about the sewer pass thing? And I was like, oh. He was like, dude, it's like everyone's talking about it. And I was like, how do I miss this? How do I miss this? So I'm learning this as we go right now.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. It's the next stage in the step of Bored Ape Yacht Club's summoning. So we saw the last thing was Lick the Toad. And then this is the next thing over here. In the steps, people were a little bit upset because the rank of the sewer passes, you had rank 1 to 4. The rank played absolutely no role in the rarity of the heavy metal NFT that you got. Now, what is important to know is the rank of the sewer pass played a part into how many extra opportunities you got for points on the sewer pass. But the only thing that mattered for how rare heavy metal NFT you got was the amount of points that you got through playing Dookie Dash and Lick the Toad. Right. So some people were a bit upset about that because they thought, look, level 4 sewer pass with a score of 100,000 should get a rarer heavy metal NFT than a level 1 sewer pass with the same a score of 100,000. And other people are saying, look, and this is my camp, if you had a sewer pass level 4, you had more opportunities to get a higher score. So you've already been rewarded for it being a level 4 by having like various different, advantages when playing the game. So why be rewarded again? But you can imagine, bro, there were people up until yesterday buying level 4s at 6 ETH, where they could buy the same score level 1 at 1.5 ETH because they thought that they would get a rarer heavy metal NFT. So that did cause a lot of FUD in the space, as there always is. But overall, I mean, I think this is a really, really successful drop. The trading volume is insane. It's sitting number 2 at OpenSea. They've already done 7,600 ETH in volume. And I mean, it's quite incredible. Yuga is running the show at the moment. There's absolutely like no doubt about it. Just looking at these stats, Yuga is number 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's just crazy.
Yeah, dude, that's they literally do anything they want and it works. I mean, they're crushing it.
Yeah, no, they are, and I think it's awesome. So Superpass can be transformed into these robots. Next will come the Mecha Apes after this. That's the next step in this whole thing. But yeah, I mean, these are interesting. I think around 2, they're an interesting buy personally. Not financial advice, obviously, but definitely interesting. There's still more summoning left, and there's going to be some hype in the next couple of days, weeks that come with these heavy metals. Yeah, man, I think it's incredible. I mean, the amount of money that's traded hands already, so 7,500 ETH. I mean, what's that?
Yeah.
12, $15 million in 24 hours.
Yeah, literally. That's some crazy shit right there, dude. That's some crazy shit. High numbers.
Yeah, for sure. So Mongrel would have gotten, if he hadn't sold that golden key, he would have also gotten the legendary now, which would have been interesting, right?
Yeah.
So the new owner will get that legendary because it was in his wallet at the time of the summoning. So it's going to be interesting to see what that legendary is worth. Because he paid 2,200 Ethereum for the golden key, which is $1.6 million, which in theory makes you think that legendary would be worth around that price.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I would be happy if I sold that motherfucker for $1 million. I'd be like, you know what?
Me too.
I don't care. I played this game for a couple days, won $1 million. I'm down.
Yeah, a newbie would have maybe held on to it. So I remember in my early days, I won. I don't know if you remember that project, Crypto Hobos. It was almost like an art project, Kate. I don't know if you remember. It was big. It went to 2 ETH or something. And they look like art. I'll see while I'm talking if I can try find it for you. And I just entered a part of their roadmap was that after mint they would give away a couple of one-of-ones. And I just entered a raffle in their Discord. I was a holder, and I won one of the one-of-ones. And like straight away, people were DMing me saying, "I'll give you 5 ETH, I'll give you 6 ETH," and I didn't know what it was worth at all. I didn't know if that was a good offer, if that was a bad offer. I had other people saying to me, "No, don't sell it. It's worth at least 10 ETH." and so on and
Yeah.
so forth. And I
When
never
was it?
sold it about a year and a half ago. I never sold it, and then I went back to the one guy who offered me 5 as the floor price of the project kept going down, and I said to him, "No, I'll take 5." He's like, "No, now the offer's 4," and then I couldn't do that, and then I went back to him a week later. I said, "I'll take 4," because the floor price was down again, and he said, "No, now it's 3." Eventually, it sold for 1 or 1.5 ETH. I can't remember.
Fuck.
When the floor price was like of them was like 0.1, and I was happy, but I could have gotten 5, 6, 7 ETH straight away if I
Dude,
had
I want
just
to
done
think.
it.
I want a not a raffle. I minted a Polygoons NFT back when they were kind of hyped, and I minted a 1 of 1 by pure luck. And I got 3 offers for 3 ETH, and I said no to all of them. And I said in my Discord, if you're in my Discord, OG, you remember this. I see Juan in here. He probably remembers this. I literally remember because I put it out an announcement. And I was like, guys, I just said no to this fucking 3 ETH offer. I'm putting this Polygoons in the vault. We're going to have this in the metaverse. It's going to be on the Joyous Kingdom in the throne room and on the gallery and all this stuff. And that NFT is fucking worthless. And I sold it for like 0.3 ETH like a year later.
Yeah, exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying good for Mongrel for selling it, because yeah, to cash in hand, a bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush, right?
100%. 100%. And he
Cool.
paid the royalty. Like, it was a good overall thing. He paid the royalty, made a point to pay the royalty, and made a point to like tweet about that. Like, that was great. I loved that.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was good for him to do. Alrighty. So now we got Starbucks. So we all know that they've
Bro.
done their reward. They've done their reward program, and they've launched it on the blockchain. Old news, but very, very bullish. So now they actually launched their NFT collection, and sold out in 18 minutes. It's 2,000 NFTs.
Oh, I
You can get
know.
them on.
I know they sold out in 18 minutes, bro. I know. I was there. I fucking tried to mint and it said no, and I was the first one on the website. Oh my god, I was so butthurt.
Yeah, so the floor price now is $595. So you could have made it easy 3, 4, 5x. I
Dude, they
like the
moved
art. I
right
mean,
after.
yeah, I know they have sort of come down a bit, but they still. I mean, what was mint price over here on these? $100.
$100, bro. $100. I could have
Yeah,
made a 10x right out the gate. 10x. And my plan was to flip it immediately because I was on a stream with HV-MTL's founder. The goal was to flip it as the podcast was starting. I had both tabs open. Restream was open with Diggy on stream. And I was like, yo, give me like 1 sec. I got to mint this thing for a video real quick. And the plan was to screen record, mint it, flip it, and then make a video about Starbucks NFT. I didn't get to do any of it. I just sat there as the page crashed 75 times and I had to start the show.
yeah. That's horrible. It's happened to me before as well. Really is horrible. But I do think that, this is going to be, to some degree, yeah, it's got that nostalgia feel where people will look back at this and say, this was one of the biggest Web2 companies to successfully roll out their reward program on the blockchain. And therefore, these NFTs could have a collective value. I mean, like there's people who just collect Starbucks stuff anyway, like nice mugs and tins and things like that. So they
Yep.
do have that collectability, almost like a Coca-Cola type of thing. But they've got this very successful reward program that is launched on the blockchain, and they did that well before they actually launched their NFT collection. And yeah, man, good to see. I think it's quite cool.
Dude, honestly, so the goal, like I said, was to buy it and flip. But the goal also, like long term, because it was going to be a video, was to buy back in later. So like would have been perfect. I would have waited a couple of weeks. It would have been probably $200 or $300 again. Then I would have bought in, and then I would have made videos and try to get into the Starbucks ecosystem. My friend Lennox actually works with Starbucks in their Odyssey program, and then the CEO. Or not the CEO, the guy who's running Starbucks Odyssey, he also lives in Seattle. And I was like, this is a great opportunity. So I will probably be getting back into this project to making some content about it, because I have a UFC video coming, I have a Gymshark video coming, I have a Starbucks video coming. I'm trying to make content about these kind of companies, Web2 companies with Web3 initiatives. This is the fucking way forward. The PFPs are great. They're gonna still be here, but it's gonna be a 1% crowd of people in the very end, I think. And the real value, if you guys have watched my content recently, has been blockchain based content about like, some kind of interesting hook to get a new crop of people. And then I'm really trying to hook them with this blockchain technology of verifiable digital ownership. I'm getting really good feedback on TikTok even about it, like not even as much hate as I'm used to. And it seems like that's the way forward. And as far as business, dude, the business opportunities are there for those companies. The business opportunities are not there for the PFP projects. They're just not. They just don't have money. Or even if they do, even the ones with a couple $1,000,000 left, they're trying to keep the money close to their chest, as they should, because they're going to run out of money. But the thing is, to like make money and to make a brand, you literally have to spend money. I've spent at least $10,000 on my brand, and I can't even believe I said that number out loud. Like, that's a ton of money to spend like on your brand. Like, that goes into a lot of things: hiring editors, trying things, doing giveaways. You guys know I do giveaways all the time, to buy
Your
fucking
merch
clothes, samples
that you
like
give out.
samples.
Yeah.
Dude, it's expensive to build a brand. Or it doesn't have to be, but like in our world specifically, it kind of is sometimes.
No, I think it always is. I think it really is a long-term focus thing, and you're definitely making the right steps for it for sure. But yeah, I mean, this one's great. All right, Kate, you ready? Ready to jump into some news here?
Let's get it. Hey guys, also if you're in Spaces, please hit that retweet button, bottom right corner. It's a little message icon. Hit that bottom right if you're enjoying the conversation. We want to get this going on Spaces, just so people are aware that we're on YouTube. We want them to come to YouTube, of course. That top little pin thing right there. Click that and join us on YouTube. Twitter Spaces is more to get people to be aware that we're here on YouTube. So yeah, hit that retweet button, tag people, share if you're ready for the conversation. We got a lot of shit to talk about, bro. Hit it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, some latest news. Let's get straight into it. So the first one is we had the first Degods Bitcoin Ordinal NFT auction. So for just the very first one, and the sale price was $44,256. So the first Degods Ordinal sold for 44,000. I think happening now as we talk. I think there's another 300 or something going up for sale. I actually was thinking when I saw the sale yesterday for 44 grand, I was thinking he should have rolled one out a day, sort of like Nouns does, but they do one a week. He would have done better rolling out one a day. Like, yes, they wouldn't have maybe always been 44 grand, but I think that they would have fetched a lot more than like launching the 300-400 straight away. But that remains to be seen. But that would have been how I would have done it.
Yeah, dude. What's funny about this is I watched Pasta. If you guys know NFT Pasta, OG YouTuber with us, right? Australian kid, really nice guy. I hung out with him at NFT NYC. He'll be there, by the way. He's gonna be really busy with Utes and Degod stuff, but hopefully I can run into him again. And he made a video, and it was so funny because it did so well. But his prediction was that the NFT was going to be minted for like, I forget what it was, like a few $100 or maybe $1,000, something really cheap, based on some kind of analysis that he had. And the next day he comes out, he goes, "All right, guys, I was a little bit wrong, just slightly wrong on the mint price, just a little bit wrong." And I was like, "God damn, dude!" Like, it was just funny because not really funny, but dude, Degods is quickly becoming that project where they can do anything they want. Like, Frank made a post yesterday, and he was something in reference to an announcement he's going to make. And I put under it just as a joke. I was like, Degods Mutant Project, because he literally can do whatever he wants, and it's going to work right now. They're that level of projects. Almost the same. I feel like Pudgy Penguins is close. Pudgy Penguins could probably do whatever they want at this point and do it. I think Degods is getting close to that unrivaled sort of stature. You know, like they're fucking crushing it, dude. They're crushing it.
Yeah, I've got to say, like, again, it's risky space, but they definitely have been, and you've been saying it for a while. Look, it's still early days. I want to see what happens when they come to ETH. I think that's going to be really telling. And like we've said before, it's really the big boys on ETH, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And also, it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Utes when they move on to Polygon. However, he was very early to say that he was going to do a Bitcoin ordinal collection. He was before Yuga. He literally, the day that the Bitcoin ordinals became a thing with those punks that were like sort of fake, he came out and said that he's straight away doing 500 of the decodes on it. So he was really early. The fact that it's just launched now is a different story, but he said early that he was doing it. So I respect him for that for sure. He's also said he wants to have a presence on every blockchain, which I think is so cool. I don't know what he's going to do about Solana because I think he's burnt that bridge. But either way, they're saying here that the actual mint for the 500 that are going to be available is only in about 8 hours from now. So he has a pinned tweet which was 2 hours ago, which said 9 to 10 hours. It's on Bitcoin block 781216 for whoever knows what how that works. But they don't know the exact time. But when it gets to that block, then it will automatically start in approximately 7 to 8 hours from now. So it's going to be interesting to see the price action there. But I doubt we're going to see more than 44,000. The other thing that's interesting here is the bid history. You had one person who bid $44,000. You had another person who bid 44,000. Also, then you had another one who bid 38.5. Then you had another one who bid 33,000, and then you had someone who bid 40. So you've got four people that are very, very interested. Maybe everyone else just thought, look, this is out of my budget. I think most people anyway. And whereas the 500, when they come on the market, they're going to be a tenth of this price. Maybe we will get a lot more bids. I'm sure we will. But yeah, going to be interested to see. But do you agree with me, Kate? Would you have rolled this out slower? Maybe done one a day?
Yes, I love that idea. That's what I'm doing with, with the torches, like I've done this with my own collections or much smaller scale, but I like the idea. You don't have to do, like, it kind of depends on the size of the collection, but with smaller ones, I think it's cool to have a longer drawn out thing where you don't put so much pressure on just like one day, like one moment, because if it doesn't exactly do what everyone's hoping, it's just a bad look. And as far as him dispersing and, dispersing his seed across all blockchains, I'm a huge fan of that. You guys know I'm a big fan of doing that with content. I'm big on TikTok, big on Instagram. Well, not big on Instagram. I post everywhere though. So like the point is people recognize the glasses across platforms, which is very, very helpful because I don't know where someone's going to find me. And I'm on LinkedIn too. Even I have some cool connections that came from LinkedIn, just reposting fucking reels and stuff like that on LinkedIn. And so I agree. I think and he put a tweet yesterday saying that he thinks all projects will have some sort of presence across blockchains. I think that the top projects will have the ability to. I think the smaller projects don't even need to bother about that. They just need to focus on one and have a little bit of success there. Is success meaning whatever you want it to mean. I guess mint price or floor price for most of them. But I think it's cool. I like the developments we're seeing. I like that Frank he's still a degenerate, but he's also like pushing some much needed boundaries that I think are really helpful in a business sense.
Yeah. So this is interesting, and I wasn't aware of this until now. It was only tweeted 2 hours ago. The mint price for the 500, bro, is 0.333 Bitcoin. And that is, at today's Bitcoin price, exactly now, the second, is $27,000. So that's interesting to me. I don't know, bro. I mean, look, that's a huge ask. But again, they've got the Degods and Utes holders who are bullish about Frank. So you got a market of maybe 10,000 people who already have faith in you. So is it a big ask to say, will 500 of those people commit that sort of money? I personally think it is a big ask. I mean, that's a big amount of money, my bro. I don't know. What do you think?
It's a big ask, but if anyone, like, you're not marketing to the same crowd here. This is Bitcoin. Like, people who buy Bitcoin, like, this is a different style of person, I think, and this is a much more of a collector's item, in my opinion. Like, there's only 500. This is a huge collector's play. 0.33 is a fucking lot of money. $20,000 is a lot of money, but
27,000.
It prices out the people who are going to whine and complain, in my opinion. This is putting in a much higher, older demographic of people who care about collecting and who care about being part of the project and not really giving a shit about anything else. Like there's been collectors in my project, even just a small art project, who have paid up to like 1 ETH a couple times on my collections. One fucking $3,000 just because they could have bought one for 0.3, but they bought the 1 ETH one because they just wanted to.
Do you think it's going to be the existing holders that buy this mostly, or do you think it's going to be some Bitcoin maxis who want to get into NFTs buying this?
Dude, I think 0.01% of people in Degods could afford that, or even would think to afford that. I think it's probably gonna be a mix, but I don't think it's gonna be a big community from their current. I think it's gonna be people who are waiting to get in, or maybe they have one of them, like a floor one, and they've got money. They just were like looking for the right thing to buy, and now this is it. I just think it's gonna be a huge collector's play. I think it'll work. I still think it'll work, and I don't think it's gonna have a lot of FUD because it's not the same crowd of people that normally would be spreading FUD about. There's not enough utility, bro. There's not enough utility. Like, you mean the floor price hasn't gone up? Is what you really mean?
Yeah, I mean, I
Like
just wonder. Yeah, say that again.
It could be like a nouns situation. Just did a full video on nouns because I want to win their $50,000 giveaway, and I'm 99% sure I'm going to win. And I just did a whole thing on that, and I was like, dude, this is a different crowd of people. People are here because they want to be here. Otherwise, why would the fuck would you bid $45,000 or $35,000, and the resale is 45,000. So like people want to be in it just to be there, and like there's a crowd of people for that. And I think the noun style of people will be the ones who buy this Bitcoin DeGod.
I mean, I've just done some calculations here. If he mints out 500 at $27,000, that is $13.4 million. That's what I'm trying to say, Kate. I think this is a big ask. I think it's a lot of money. That's pretty much what Yuga. That's pretty much what Yuga was able to raise with their ordinals, and their collection's a bit smaller. Their collection's 300, and they raised $16 million. And they Yuga. I don't know. I think he could have very easily gone half of this. You still make $6 million.
No, I don't know. I think if you're gonna make this play, it's got to be an expensive mint. But 500, maybe 500.
$27,000. Either 500's too many, or the price is too high for the. Just $14 million. Yuga raised 16, and they Yuga. Come on. I think he might be being a little bit ambitious here.
But that's okay. Like that's his goal. And like the thing is with this, he's not gonna lose, because even if it goes wrong, he's just gonna be like, we're here to fucking push the envelope, and like it's okay to take L's. Like he's gonna have that. He's got that response copied, ready to go. Like it's ready for copy and pasted tweet. He knows he's got a tweet for if it goes right, and he's got a tweet for if it goes wrong. It doesn't matter when you're a pioneer, and there's a level of respect you get from being a pioneer and being Frank as the pioneer, specifically when he's already pioneered multiple things.
Jeez. It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to be watching this with bated breath from the sidelines.
Would you pick up
the dream asking, are there going to be royalties? I have zero idea. Do you know that, Kate? Royalties for Bitcoin NFTs?
I don't actually think there is, but I might be mixing up two different projects. I don't think there's any royalties.
I don't think there can be, because of the smart contract side of things is not there, right? So you're literally inscribing it onto Satoshi, onto Bitcoin. So there's no smart contract level. So no, I don't think there can be. Well, look, I mean, a lot of collections, the royalties aren't in the smart contract either. It's just the marketplaces that end up enforcing them. At the moment, there aren't really marketplaces for Bitcoin. So I would say no if I had to guess it, just thinking it through, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, Kate, if you had to make a side bet over here, is this going to sell out or not? What is your prediction?
I'm like, it hurts me, like, because I feel like I was macro bullish on Elon, and then he shat on everybody with Twitter, just like not capable of doing what is required as a CEO of a tech company like that when he was so successful somewhere else. This is a big play. You're right, dude.
That's funny to hear you say that Elon Musk, but carry on.
Yeah, well, the thing with Elon is just it's a different skill set, I think, to run a fucking spaceship company and Tesla versus a media conglomerate. It's just like, so I think there are just things that he didn't realize that. Anyways, with Frank here, massive marketer, beast in the space. He's probably the only one who's relevant. If we're really gonna make this conversation, he's the only relevant influencer here. I mean, everyone's relevant on some level. Like there are smaller people, but Frank's the one, like, for NFTs right now. Like there's nobody who's even close to his level.
Okay,
I mean, in my opinion.
Yes or no? Is he selling out? That's the question.
Is he selling out 500? Fuck, dude. I think 300 he could sell out. 500. Oh, dude, I want to say yes because I think it will sell out, but 500, I think 300, I would be very confident. 500, I'm very iffy, but I think he will. I'm going to make that statement. I think he will, and I think the floor will hold maybe 10% above floor. But I don't think it's going to be about that. Like I said, it's not going to be I don't think it's going to be like it is with ETH traders. I think the floor will hold a little bit above, not anything crazy. I think they will sell out, but I think it's going to be close, bro. I think it's going to be
okay. You heard it really close. You heard it here first. Kate's prediction: Degods will sell out the 500 Bitcoin ordinal collection.
What's the
it's first? I don't know. I think it's first come, first serve. I don't know. I don't know how long that's open. You see, I've never minted anything on Bitcoin, so I don't really know if it works the same way. But it will happen during a block, so it will start at a certain time. But I think it stays open until it's minted out. I don't know. I don't know if you can even end it. I don't know.
If you're going to drop 30K on a Bitcoin DeGod, I think if anyone who's going to do that, they've got enough money to buy two. That's where I think this can mint out. Because I think if you're going to be buying this with 30K, you're probably going to buy two because you probably got that kind of money. That's my thought, and I think there's enough people to make this sell out, and I think there's enough Bitcoin, huge motherfucking Bitcoin whales, and I think this will sell out. I feel like I'm gonna eat my words.
60K, bro. You could get a CryptoPunk for 60K. Okay.
Yeah,
not
but you're
exactly,
betting on
but
Frank. You're betting on Degods ecosystem. That's new. It's
I
still
would
relatively
rather.
new.
All right, I'd rather bet on Yuga personally, but either way, let's
So
see.
would I.
I
So would
want to
I.
talk about.
I would too.
Okay, cool. Because Yuga, the point is, Yuga could only raise 16 million, and they Yuga on Bitcoin. So how is he going to raise 14? We'll see. I don't think he
Well,
sells
they
out. I
only
think
capped it at 16. They could have gone
yeah.
30. They may have still done that. Like, who knows what they could have gotten? I think they were probably like, damn, 16. Like, that's probably it. But when Degods saw that, Frank was like, damn, they raised 16. Fuck it, let's try 13. We might actually do this. If not, we raise 7, 10. Like, how the fuck do we lose this? You know, we're literally gonna raise 4, 5, 6, 10, 13 million dollars. Even if everything goes wrong, we're still in the positive by millions of dollars. You know.
No.
And you can spend that in any way. You're
CryptoGreen,
like, oh, now we got $4 million.
yeah, I mean, exactly. I agree with you. Either way, he's going to make some money. It's not a huge amount. So Satoshi is, I think, 100,000th of a Bitcoin. So it's not going to cost him much. I mean,
Yeah.
like maybe $10,000 will be your cost, and 13 million is your income. You know, even if your cost is $10,000, who cares? Even if it costs $15,000, I mean, somewhere around there. I mean, it's not more than that. I don't think.
Nah, and like I said a second or like 10 minutes ago, you have to spend money sometimes to get money. Like I just sent like a lot of money to a few editors for like a bunch of content coming on the next 2 months, basically, and that hurt. Not gonna lie, that kind of hurt to just like send that money up front because I was like, okay, I just secured like this many videos for the next few months it's gonna take, and it costed a good bit of money, and in my opinion, that money will bring me something that's worth more. It's going to make me more money, or it's going to raise me in stature, or it's going to do something for my narrative that's going to help me. It's going to be worth the money I just spent. And I think that's the same, thing there, especially with, there are VC companies. This is probably a topic of video I need to make, but like VC companies operate differently than normal projects. Like we've had conversations about this on Spaces. I've seen it in the last couple of weeks or so. VCs, they're here to make money, and their strategies are here to make more money. So obviously they're going to raise $14 million potentially. And they're like, look, do whatever it takes to make that happen. Even if we get 10% of that, we still made our money times 1,000, So in a VC mindset, like shit, I mean, they're kind of operating how I expected them to. It's a lot of money, but
I've got a familiar face here, Kevin Maharaj. Kevin, my friend, it's so good to see you. Kevin has been my website developer at PGIFs for the last 20 years. It's good to see you, my brother. Where's he coming from? LinkedIn, it looks like. So good to see you. Thank you for joining. This is the Web3 show, Kev. This is what I do in my spare time, my friend. Glad that you're here. Good to see you. All right, so Kate, I'm interested to see what you were saying about our friend Elon Musk, because I've said to you, we had a conversation when Elon took over Twitter, and I said to you, look, it's dangerous to give one person this amount of control, this amount of power, and you were like, no, but it's Elon Musk, and he'll do it. And I said, look, to bet $50 billion, which is a big portion, maybe 20-30% of his net worth, to bet that on Twitter is a huge risk, and you were pro if he's going to do it. Now you seem to be changing your tune. What is the story? What's going on here?
So I'm not changing my tune. I still think we're fine. I just think that Elon Musk realized, shit, I'm not that good at this. I thought it would be easy enough. Like I can put out a couple tweets, fire a few people, and it'll just work. And I think that's how it works at Tesla. He literally, I mean, you guys heard the story. He slept on the fucking ground to make Tesla work. He literally spent every last dime and gambled all of it on one last Hail Mary. That's the reason he can do whatever he wants with Tesla. It's the reason he can do whatever he wants with SpaceX. He did that shit. Twitter, he acquired that company. It was already going down. Everything was against him. Everyone's like, saying, fuck this guy. He's already a billionaire. He's becoming evil. There's all this narrative around him. Things aren't going right as fast as people want. It's a little bit kind of like, what's he doing? All he's doing is still shit posting as if everything's normal. We don't actually know what's going on. There's Twitter employees coming out saying this, that, and the other. Then there's other ones saying everything's fine. So we just don't know what's going on. I'm not really saying that I backtracked on my idea that Elon's going to figure it out. I think Elon needs to just hire someone to do the CEO position. But I think that Elon Musk being in charge is still a good thing because of his mindset towards culture and towards like where we're headed as a culture and as a society. and I think he's got the right track on it. But I will say one thing, in the sense that maybe I was almost too macro bullish on an individual, in the sense that no individual is actually superhuman. Even Elon Musk, even Albert Einstein, even all these like super, whatever you want to call these people, like super geniuses of their time, they still have normal shit. They still take L's all the time. You just don't hear about it. I don't think Twitter's going to be an L. I think Twitter's still going to be a massive, if not the biggest social media platform. I mean, look at Facebook, look at Instagram. Those companies have shit themselves hard. Those companies suck. They literally suck. I mean, and the other day they put out a whole statement saying like, we're done with NFTs. And then they're like, oh, but we're going to sell verified like checks. And you're like, what do you mean? That's NFTs right there. And they're like, well, we're going to support artists. I'm like, you just closed down the NFT artist campaign. How is that even possible? Bro, they can't figure out left and right. They had no idea what they're doing. Twitter is good without the like, for the most part, 75% of Twitter, it can run on its own without like anything, like if they were to leave it as it is right now, Twitter would probably
but it's got no revenue. That's where he's trying to make changes. Look, I think it's early days for him. You need to give him a chance, and definitely think he's making the right move. The fact that I've got a blue check mark now in South Africa, which was not possible before, shows that he's focusing on revenue collection at the moment. He wants to roll out this Twitter Blue to the entire world. And yeah, I mean, if you look at the user base size of Twitter and you say, okay, 5% of those people sign up to Twitter Blue, that sort of income is substantial. And I think we've got to give him more time. I do think there's a risk that he's spreading himself too thin. Across all his different ventures. He's literally one person. He already is burnt out and working, day and night on all his ventures. That's the type of personality he is. So something has to sort of give. And we are seeing, I mean, the Tesla share price last year really took a dive. That's also the economy. Obviously, new expensive cars are the first thing that people stop buying when the economy's in the toilet. Right. So you see that just like housing, you see that with cars. Also, China had all the issues that they had with COVID and shutting down and not being able to get stuff out of China. So Tesla had a really bad year last year. But on top of that, their CEO was busy playing games on Twitter and being in NFT Twitter spaces all day. So I think that did play a part in it. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I think we got to give him a bit more time. Yeah.
I agree. A lot more. Oh, Jesus Christ.
A lot more time.
Living in the city is its own.
You see, the cops have finally come for Cade. Finally.
They're coming for my hair, bro.
It's funny because I'm the guy in the most dangerous city in the world. I'm the guy in Johannesburg, South Africa. There's not a sound in the world. The only sound you heard was that hardy-dar bird the other night. That bird going, "Caw!" But other than that, nothing. Nice.
Dude, I don't know, man. I just moved to an apartment that overlooks the road, and man, I've heard lots of gunshots. I'm not gonna lie, I've heard lots of gunshots in the last few weeks after moving here. I'm like, damn. I thought we were safe out here, but I am not leaving this fucking apartment after 10 p.m. anymore, bro. Like, there are too many gunshots and ambulances going on after 10 o'clock. Like, it's like low key kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was like, damn. I was out here thinking I was somewhat safe. Like, that was kind of fine, but I don't know.
It sounds like South Africa, bro. That's really mad. All right, so we've got our friend Poopy at Doodles, and he comes out with this tweet, our friend Poopy, and he says over here, "Hey Web3, here are my comments on the feedback." All right, that was the first one. "We are trying to go from a startup to a leading media franchise. We are no longer an NFT project." That was the other one. I want to find his first one, okay? His very, very first one. Unless he's deleted it. Do you think he's deleted it already? Because it used to be there.
Probably.
I'm definitely gonna find it. There's no way I'm not finding it. I don't think it's very Web3. Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's very Web3 to delete it if he did. I mean, but I guess he's not very Web3 with what he was saying.
Dude,
right?
Voltura deleted his tweet. Voltura deleted his tweet after he got so much FUD from putting that out.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So yeah, he has deleted it, hey? He has taken it down here, which is incredible. It's incredible. Yeah, so we have the original one where he came out. I did have a chat though. Give me a sec. Let's try to find it. Because these were screenshots anyway. If I can't find it, I'll give you the gist of it. But it's better if I can quote it exactly. Yeah, no, it's not here. No. Basically, he came out and he says, let me make something very, very clear. Doodles is not an NFT project. If you're just here to make profit, then rather get out. We are not interested in speculators. We are building a media brand. So basically, we are higher than an NFT project. And yeah, we're here for collectors. We're not interested in anyone who's here as a speculator. He got a lot of backlash, so much so that he's wiped it clean, and it's no longer saying that anymore. But it just shows, I mean, it just shows how out of touch they are. We've noticed with Doodles for the last year, they've refused to do any social media type of thing. It just made, the one saying I kept thinking of myself when I was reading it was, why bite the hand that feeds you? You know that saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Here they started their company as an NFT project. They are where they are and raised the money that they were able to raise because they got the support of the NFT community. And to come out a year later just because you think you're better than us and say that don't want to be associated with the word NFT anymore, we're not an NFT project, we're more than that, is biting the hand that feeds you. Fuck you, I'll sell my NFT. And he doesn't care. He said sell it. He's not interested. So yeah, I think he needs to, and I was busy doing it when we started. I think he needs to build a duplicator instead of a duplicator that stops him from tweeting and makes him think before he tweets, because it's really, really one of the worst PR moves I've ever seen.
I'm actually not that mad about this at all, to be honest. I saw who was it? I can't remember his name. The guy in charge of Root Troop, Morgan Stone. He put out a tweet and he was like, controversial opinion, basically. Like, I'm not mad about this. Like, yeah, it wasn't like the most tasteful thing, but people need to, like, it's fine. Like, it's one of those things that, for me, the only issue was that Poopy or Jordan Castro, for people who don't know his real name, Jordan. The only issue with it for me, because I wasn't really like, I just don't take anything personal like that. I would have just been like, well, whatever. Like, either he's having a bad day or he didn't mean it like this. Like, he just, like, in the same way that when he said we're not an NFT project, he didn't mean that maliciously for people to be like, what do you fucking mean we're not an NFT project? I'm like, bro, hold on. Like, relax. If this works out, you're gonna be happy. Like, that's the point that they're making here. Like, they're not an NFT project trying to like separate themselves from like a PFP style thing and do some real business moves and media stuff. That's the direction they're going. And that's the direction they've always headed. Nothing has changed, by the way. Like, they were already doing this. There's now just a public statement out there. You can see it visually where it's like, Doodles isn't an NFT project. They were never operating like an NFT project, like anything else in the space. And with Jordan, he came from the CryptoKitties Dapper Labs community. If you guys have seen the podcast with him, I had him on the show a couple years ago, and we talked about it. They have a very, very, very different outlook. I interviewed like everyone at Dapper Labs at this point, like Arthur, fucking Mac Flavell, a couple of the people from Dapper Labs. They don't look at NFTs like we do. They look at it like a collector's item, like in the way that CryptoKitties had a few years ago. And that's always been how it is. It's always been communicated like that since the beginning. It's just been a 2-year cycle of them not being great at communicating. And the problem is when you don't communicate well, and then you make a statement like, get the fuck out and floor it, that's where it looks bad. If Frank had done that, he would have been like, oh, no problem. And people would have said, that's fine. We already understand you. We know you as a person. It's okay. We probably had a lapse in judgment. We forgive you. But when Jordan Castro does it, because he's not that active, it has a lot more weight on it. Same with Voltura. He comes out, makes a tweet saying, hey, potentially want to give the
we're going to talk about Voltura. We're going to talk about Voltura separate. I hear you, and I agree with you. I think in the end of the day, he didn't mean it to come across the way he did, but that is my point. When you are the CEO or running one of the biggest NFT projects in the space, you should be very careful with what you put out there in the public domain. And before you tweet, you should try and maybe have an advisor or someone that looks at it and says, look, this could be perceived as quite harsh. You know, in the end of the day, why offend people, which is obviously what happened afterwards, because he's completely deleted it and put this whole thing clarifying what he meant by what he said, and going on and on, all of which could have been avoided if he just took a second before clicking that tweet button and actually thought about what he was saying. Now, do you want someone who's saying that they're going to be building the biggest media company in the world with Pharrell Williams that's so trigger happy that he can send out tweets at a whim. Someone said, "Well, I'm going to sell my NFT." He said, "Oh, please fuck off and floor it. I don't care. Get out of here." That's not the type of person that is going to build a media empire. I can tell you that. That's not the face of the company. That's not who you want representing you, right? Because you want someone that encourages people and makes people want to support you, not someone that makes people want to drop kick you over a fence. And at the moment, he just keeps on posting this crap that is isolating himself and showing that he's completely out of touch with his core, which is the NFT supporters. He doesn't he's out of touch with who pays his salary.
I don't know, man. I think it's because I've changed my opinion sort of how NFTs are run, and I just don't. Especially when we're talking about a VC project. We're not talking about
they
a PFP
weren't
project.
VC, they weren't. No, they were a PFP project before they were a VC. Kate, what happens if you spent 20? Yeah, but what happens if you bought it at 20 ETH before they were VC backed? When all the hype was going on. What happens if you had spent $400,000 and you now have the owner saying, if you here to, and it's now worth $10,000, and you have the owner of the company saying to you, if you here to make money or fuck off, it was never about that. Meantime, when the floor price was 20 ETH, when ETH was $3,500, it was only about that. So now what? Is he bigger than the space? Now that the times have gotten a bit tough and people are upset because the floor price is low, all of a sudden he's saying, oh, screw you, we're not an NFT project? Rubbish, you are. You started as that. Yes, you have aspirations to be more than that, but word it correctly. Don't kick the guy who spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in the nuts and tell him to go jump in the lake and floor his NFT.
Here's what I'll say. I think there definitely was a way more tasteful way to do this. Of course, there was a more tasteful way to do this, especially because he's not active. You can't just come out and say that one thing. However, when you're VC backed, now you have venture capitalists saying, hey, don't do this because we gave you money. Your job is to make us more money. That's literally your only job, is to make more money and to give us like a good reason to keep investing in you, kind of thing, right? And with this project, I do not agree that they were pumping the project at 20 ETH. They said the same message from 1 ETH to 20 ETH. It was always the same message. It was never, now we're at 20 ETH, so this, and this. It was always the same standard message. It was like, yo, we're still here doing the same shit. Like, if you're buying at 20 ETH, like, great. Like, it's up to you. I don't know who the fuck is buying it. Like, I don't know. If you're buying it at 20 ETH and your mags, you bought it at 20 ETH, that's 100% your fault. 100% the trader's fault, in my opinion.
Bro, 100% not. So much so that when their floor was 20 ETH, it used to be 30 ETH. They were buying it up themselves, saying these are going to 40. They were in it. They were in the bull market with all of us in the trenches,
you have
speculating.
You have to bring up the tweets where the founders are saying that, because I just don't remember that. I don't remember seeing that. The only thing I remember is them saying the same message over and over again, which is we're here to build. We're an NFT media company. We're trying to make these NFTs all over and bring the blockchain and the NFTs to the masses, which is what they're still doing with the Doodles too. There's still, nothing has changed. Like, nothing has changed about it. And that's why I just don't believe that. You know, and now they're VC back. So now they have extra reason to like make money and not just like give back stuff to their holders for free. That's just not sustainable. And I don't remember them ever changing from that. I never thought that anything changed. That was always the same message from what I gathered from it. Maybe I wasn't tapped in enough, but that's just my opinion on it. So.
No, I was pretty tapped in. They didn't expressly that I know of say, buy this at 20 ETH, we're going to make it worth 40 ETH. I don't think anyone's ever done it.
In that case, then,
but they played that narrative of the next Yuga. They played that narrative of the first thick line art PFP in the space that's relatable. They played all of that before there was anything about a media company, before there was any, they were happy to, and rightfully so. Why the hell not? Ride the wave. But then when the wave disappears, don't chuck everyone who was on the wave out the window and say, we're not even the sea. We're on Mars. We're not even the sea. Screw you all, and abandon ship. Just because, you know, come on, we are Web3. We are in the NFT space. Your project is an NFT. It's on the freaking blockchain. Just be nice to the NFT people. Something that I saw here, which is interesting and related to this, is just an op-ed, which means like an open writing piece by a guy by the name of Duncan Cook Foster. Absolutely no sponsorship, anything. Just a really interesting read on NFT now. Saying that, you know, basically that if we only here to speculate and turn $1 into $2, there is no future for the NFT space, which falls directly into this, because in a way, I think this is what Poopy was trying to say. This is a brilliant article saying that, but in the correct way. And it is true, because if you've got less people in the space, which we have now, a lot less people in the space, it no longer works if everyone is not interested in the roadmap, not interested in the team, not interested in anything that the project has to offer, just interested in turning $1 into $2. That doesn't work anymore, because it's just not enough people to buy at $2 and then to buy at 4 and then to buy at 8. And so this has to become, like we have been saying for quite a while, less about, oh, we're an NFT project, buy us, and more about, look, we've got a brilliant idea, we're a company, and oh, by the way, membership to our club, our company, happens to be through an NFT. Right. And that's what it has to become more of, is what this thing is saying. I found it very interesting. It was not related to the doodle thing, but I wanted to just bring it in because it really does relate to it so beautifully.
I was gonna say, isn't it exactly what I was saying though about Doodles? Saying that exact same thing. We gotta evolve apps. But also one thing that Doodles that Poopy put out. Have you seen Poopy's tweet about how he sort of elaborated on what he meant when he said we're not an NFT project? He was like, guys, we built on the Flow blockchain. Like, we have never not tried to push blockchain to the masses. He goes, that is always the thing. So when he said we're not an NFT project, he's saying we're a big media company with a Web3 initiative, is what I actually got from that. Because I've been in the business world of NFTs for the last year and a half. That's what they mean. It's just like I said, like you said, we both said this. It's just the way they handled it and the way they spoke about it and like said these words a certain way, that when you don't have other communication that's going to give personal branding, the due respect or whatever that you get from being super active like Frank, you have to take the L. And he said at the very beginning, at the very bottom, he says, I'll take the L. It wasn't the right way to say it, but he's not changing what he meant by it. The thing he meant by it is that last paragraph right there, right?
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. 100%. I'm saying I just think he should have thought before he tweeted out the way he did, because it came across as if we are superior to you. You NFT degens are not related to us. We are going higher places than you. So please get out of our way, because we're now a media company. We're not an NFT company. Saying we understand what he was saying. It's exactly what you and I were saying a week ago or 2 weeks ago, where they are going for the stars long term. Nothing to do with Web3 or Web2. They want to build the biggest brand, whatever that may be, and that we admire. Both you and I said long term we actually bullish on Doodles, and for me, I maintain that, and I feel the same as I did then. However, if this guy continues not thinking and not wording his tweets properly and pissing off his entire community every second day, then he's not going to go anywhere, and there is going to be an issue. So it's just not ideal. You don't want to see someone just willy-nilly sending out whatever they think without thinking beforehand.
I agree. Jordan, bro, I'm pinging you every day, bro. I'm following what's his name, Hulk Hustle. I'm doing the bump every couple days. I'm messaging you. I'm like, yo, come on the show. Like, let's have a real discussion about this. Like, he can do it on his own, I know. But I was like, bro, let's come on, like, one of the shows.
No, he doesn't care.
Like 15
why is he going to come on? Okay, he doesn't care about appeasing the NFT community. He's too big for us, bro. It's not coming on the show.
I don't believe that.
Keep trying.
I don't believe that.
Talking about the show. Talking about people coming on your show. Let's talk about this now, and we need to talk about this. Let's give the viewers a bit of background, and then we need to talk about this. Voltura from Psychedelics Anonymous came on your show. And I said to you, I do not trust anyone who won't show his face. I don't know if I said that to you privately or publicly on our show. I think it might have been privately. And I said to you, and I've said this publicly, that I have turned down interviews with people because they will not show their face. I will not have someone who's not doxed on my show. Now, I'm not criticizing you in any way. And also, when you had him was a bit of a different time to now. However, we now had him quite openly saying that he would consider giving over the project to the DAO, however, not the funds. So he'll hand, now that things aren't great, there's no more royalties, there's the secondary sales have dried up, he'll keep the money, but it could be someone else's problem. He faced a huge amount of fun and backlash, again, not thinking much before he's talking, and then retracted that. But I want to get your thoughts on everything, because now you start to think, look, no one knows who this guy is. He doesn't have long-term aspirations. We saw the floor price go down 25%. He's never shown his face, and if you want to be here long-term in this space, it's no longer in 2021. You have to be doxed and show yourself properly. So I want to get your opinion on all of that.
So he's semi-doxed. I know what he looks like.
He's not semi-doxed to you, but no one else knows his name or what he looks like.
A lot of people know what he looks like because he shows face at the events. So if you've been to in real life, you know him.
Okay, but does anyone know his real
name? Yes, actually, I actually do know his real name, Lewis Gale.
I'm typing it into Google now, but carry on.
That's also public, by the way. Like Lewis Gale is his name, and it's publicly his name. Like we talk about Lewis like using his first name a lot. So I just forgot about it for a second. But
how do I spell
his name is Lewis Gale. LEWISGALE, I think. But that's public information. And that's just because people have tried to research it, of course. You know, people are trying to figure him out. He just in the same way that who's the fucking there was the Bored Ape founders when they were still undoxed and they got forcibly doxed by whatever.
I know who you're talking about.
What was it
NFT
BuzzFeed? They undoxed him forcibly, and the CEO came out and was like, "Look, the main reason we didn't do this is because there's a lot of money on the line and a lot of people who are invested in this thing, and it was literally partially for their safety and privacy of their families." Which I can sort of understand that. It's also I also don't fully agree with that, but it's it's one of those things that I can't make that decision for them. So my opinion is pretty much fucking irrelevant for that, but it's more of an investor's thing. Like if you're comfortable investing, then go ahead. If you're not, then don't. But as far as him coming out and saying, I'm open to the idea of handing the project over to the community, that was also, it's not taken out of context, but he should have added in there. He said, by the way, before he put the tweet button and he clicked that tweet button, he should have said also, by the way, the only reason I'm saying this is because everyone in Discord is talking about it right now. And this is what they literally are wanting me to ask. So I put it on Twitter with not enough context. And of course, everyone who's not in Discord goes, why would you say this? Like what in this time period right now when Doodles is doing this? And there's a horrible timing. And it's because the same exact reason with Jordan, just not tapped in. He's not on Twitter. He's not doing the due diligence and he's not active enough to put out a statement like that. That's that big and have it just be fine. Like if he's out there tweeting and he's saying things like Frank could say that again, I keep using Frank because he's so active. If Frank puts something like that, people freak out for a second, but then they go, hold on. Obviously, it can't be what he means. Like there needs to be more context. But when Volt says that, people don't remember him. All they remember is his GM tweets throughout the bull run. And then he's gone a little bit more quiet in the last few months. And I think with Voltura, he's such a big entity in the space that he could literally become Frank in a matter of 2 months. If he starts going active, he starts showing face again. In my opinion, he could. I think he's big enough. And people look at that Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT and they associate massive numbers, massive hype. I still think he holds that if he decides to go into Twitter. So my opinion on it is that it's a little bit just untasteful. Same exact thing with Jordan, but I don't think it was there to be like, I don't want to be here anymore. Because as soon as he put out the tweet and people were like, no, he said, okay, fine. I'll just keep running the project just like we were. But you guys sounded like you didn't want this direction. We tried these couple things. It didn't work. We even did everything on the roadmap. We gave the mental health thing. Y'all didn't use it. Like, I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, that's what you guys wanted. And we got it. We delivered it for you. You didn't want it. And people start freaking out that maybe we want to change in leadership. It was just not the right way to do it. It's not the right way to do it. Do it a space. Do a Twitter space. Hold it for 4 hours and fucking just discuss it publicly. Like, let people do it. Stop putting out fucking big tweets when you're not active. That's my only thing.
Yeah, very, very interesting. I mean, I mean, geez, I made a lot of money off this collection, a lot. So I minted 2. I sold 1 immediately but it was a bull market. I can't remember exactly, but for like a lot more than I minted. I held 1 all the way pretty much to the top. I got all the drops of all the components. I morphed some of them. I've even got some merch. The merch is absolutely crap. I got merch from them. It is so bad. Do you want to see some of it?
What
I mean,
I'll see it, yeah.
No, it's just bad quality. It's shit. Really shit merch. Oh, and you know what else? Can you still
quality merch? Doge Kingdom has some quality merch.
So, bro, first of all, if anyone wants to buy extra, let's make him big. Hold on. An extra one of these. A second one arrived in the post of my super plastic. Yeah. I only ordered 1. I don't know, bro, but I got a second one. So I'm not unboxing it because here is the other one.
Dude, I want one of those. How do you buy them?
You can't. You have to be a holder. But I'm saying they like mine was like so late. I sent them an email and I said, look, where is it? They said, no, it must be lost. And then today, I got another one. So I'm quite happy,
Damn,
man.
dude.
So, yeah, so if anyone wants one, hit me up, especially if you're in South Africa. It's going to be cheap to ship it.
Bro, me. I just said
No,
I'm
no, but
interested.
Kate, it's gonna cost more to send it to you, bro, than the thing is probably worth.
What do you think it's worth?
I don't know. I think I paid a bit of like 0.3 ETH for it when ETH was like freaking $3,000. I don't know. I did like, and you had to be a
Jesus, yeah,
holder.
never mind. Yeah, I'm not willing to pay that. Not for that fucking
But it's
figurine.
really cool. So this is a shit fucking hat. Really shit hat. Now remember, my day job is I sell merchandise, bro. Like that's not my day job, my main job. I mean, that's 20 years I've been doing promotional products. And this is the cheapest 6-panel cap you get. You can see from everything, from the thickness and everything. It's really an entry level. Yeah, I mean, embroidery is not terrible, but it's really nothing special. But the cap itself is really a crap cap, not a nice cap at
Can we
all.
compare it to any other merch? Can we compare it to any other merch? Because NFT companies are not
Yeah,
closed companies, and
yeah,
like Board of Yacht
bro. I
Club
mean,
closed is not that
this
fucking good either.
no, bro. That is a snapback hat. You can see the one is structured. You can see the shape. The other one's just like falling. Like it's a completely different ball game. I mean, this versus that is just
I
completely
get that,
different.
but you can order that Board of Yacht Club exact same hat on Amazon for $15. I know for a fact because I've bought hats on Amazon that are custom and they cost you $15 and they're very high quality. You can do that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if we need to compare us with other projects, the thing is, Psychedelic Anonymous is not a closed company. It's just one of the things they offered, which is why it's kind of like hard for me to be like the quality of clothes is bad. With Nike and Clone X, maybe you can make that argument because they're Nike and they literally sell clothes. But for like Psychedelic Anonymous, this is merch, bro. This is like YouTuber merch. I put that on the same level as YouTuber merch. I don't expect it to be fantastic.
I don't know. I expected more from it because the floor price was quite high. Um, I mean, look, Gilton clothing. I know it's promotional stuff. It's a basic cotton t-shirt. Um, yeah, I mean, I wasn't that impressed, but I've gone on a bit of a tangent. Um, but yeah, I mean, really, wait a year and you get the cheapest cap that you could possibly imagine and the cheapest t-shirts. It's not nice. It's just not. Rather don't do much than just try to do it in order to tick a box that you've done it and sent it
Well,
out when it's crap.
no, I hear you there, but it's at the same
You
time
want
like
people
they're
wearing
not.
it, Kate. No, but
Yeah,
neither are
I
you,
know that.
Kate. But your merch is quality, so that when someone
That's true.
gets it, they want to wear it, so that you can. Why are you giving merch out or selling merch? You want people to love it, to wear it, so that they are walking adverts for your brand.
Mhm.
That's the point. If you're going to send out a real crap cap, and I don't think it's because I know this game, like clothing and stuff like that, that I feel it's crap. I mean, as you touch it, anyone would be like, no, thank you. Like this looks like it's like the cheapest cap you can get. I mean,
Yep.
you don't have to be in the space for it to be there. So I'm saying rather don't do merch at all than do it and then like send out entry level stuff. That's my feeling on it. I'd rather not do it. I'd rather do
I
something
agree.
properly.
But then what?
Um,
Like, imagine if a project didn't do merch. Like, damn, like what are y'all done then?
it's, but
Like, imagine what if
honestly,
you don't,
merch is the lowest level of marketing. Honestly, I
bro?
mean,
It's
like you
the
get
only level
television,
of
you get
any
radio.
project.
It's the lowest level.
Oh Jesus, yeah. No, I mean, I feel
I
you, dude.
mean,
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it could have been better. I haven't felt the close. I have no idea. Like, I don't know if it's you being such a
they're not
professional that
great.
this just isn't your
No,
style,
not at
or
all. I got a pair of socks, and I don't sell personally. We don't sell socks. Got a pair of socks. I thought, oh, that's nice. I tried to wear them. They were so scratchy and uncomfortable. So that's just the
oh,
consumer side of things. I couldn't even wear
yeah.
them. I don't even have them yet because I was wearing them and I got them to my kids. They were like tight, and I'm not like
Mhm.
you know a massive guy. I mean, I'm your average what size 9 shoe. So why can't the socks like why do they scratch me and feel like my foot's losing circulation? I don't know. We've gone on a complete tangent. However, yeah, the news is there's a bullish, not bullish. There's like something that's alleged that I heard on the Nifty show today. Did you listen to the Nifty show today?
No, I did not. I was busy doing
Okay.
Wi-Fi stuff and getting some
No,
stuff
it's
together.
okay. I don't listen that much anymore. Nick bugs me. He keeps talking and talking. about random stuff like merch and shit. Like I just went off on a tangent. He goes off on tangents, right? But he said that he has it from a verified source that Voltura slept with one of the holder's girlfriends, and then when the holder found out and approached him, he paid him off and signed a gag order, like where you're not allowed to talk. Offered him money, which the guy accepted, and then signed a confidentiality or something like that. And they said it was from a verified source. So I've given my source. This is all allegedly. But then the funniest thing was then Kix, Kix on the show. Kix said, "Well, that sounds like amazing utility." for an NFT project to be able to shag your holder's girlfriend.
God, bro. I mean, listen, that's 100% a 50-50 coin flip if that's true or not. So I'm not even going to say anything on that because we literally have no idea if that's true. I don't know what a verified source that even means, other than like probably a fucking screenshot from a random Twitter account. But damn, bro. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything because I have no idea if that's verified. But wow, what a story.
So we got NFT SH wants to see more merch. All right, I've got it out, so I don't need to go anywhere. I'll tell you something that I did get that I was really bullish with. I don't have it here because it's in my cupboard. Like you must know, if it's in my cupboard, I really like it because I'm going to wear it. It was the Puma Cat Blocks jacket, which I mentioned to you, and I was really happy. But even like Super Plastics, the stuff comes with like cool stickers. Even behind me, it's always weird to try and point over this side. Just at the bottom there, those are stickers under the mutant. If I go the other way. Also, it just came with all the Bored Ape stuff. I don't know if you remember this project, Fiat Lux. I mean, this is also like old, like 2-year-old NFT project. And then you got a picture of your NFT in this nice packaging, and then it's a card. I thought it was a nice idea. It's just the project went to zero, but at least I delivered on what they said. And that was the NFT that I held. Ugly as shit, but everything was pumping at that stage. But nice packaging.
Bull run. Can y'all bring a bull run back?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, Kate. I don't think we're ever going to go back to that level that we had before. There's just too many projects out now, and as you can never catch up. I mean, so that's nice packaging. I really think that that's pretty cool. So that's the one thing. This was quite cool. I don't know if you remember that project.
The metaverse becomes a reality. It's going to explode again. Maybe not to the same level, but it's going to fucking explode again. I promise you. Gaming, when that stuff works, and when it's actually there, I think this shit will explode again. I don't know about that level, but like.
So it's time to read you a bedtime story, Cade. I don't know if you remember Little Heroes. It was also like a really, I need to turn my camera thing. It was a really cool project. This was the art by a really cool artist who was big in the space. I'm sure you remember this one, but you got a whole book with it, like backstage and his whole story and how he drew it. And this was really, really cool. This was one of the most hyped projects at the time. Do you recognize them, Kate, or not really, bro?
Nope.
No, Little Heroes. You can tell who the DJ in here was.
Yeah,
because I got boxes of this. I don't want to do too much of this. I'll tell you why. Because we've got the Twitter Spaces and they can't see what we're doing. If you're on Twitter Spaces and you want to know where to see it, pinned at the top is a tweet to the YouTube show. You can click on it and then you'll be able to see the merch. But I'm not going to carry on doing this for much longer. We'll move on to the next story shortly. I mean, this is, I know how you're feeling, but
that t-shirt.
No, they paid me $40,000. I bought it at 6 ETH and I sold it at 35. So they paid me the $40,000. Just remember, I've made so much money off the Yuga ecosystem. I pumped it straight back into every other ecosystem that I lost it on. However, Yuga has served me incredibly well.
Phil, you should become like Frank and Maki. You should become like Frank
No,
and
thank
Machi,
you.
who only trade Bored Apes. They only trade mutants and Bored Apes. They don't trade anything else. They're literally the reason that there's so much volume all the time. All they do is swing trade that shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. If you know what you're
Or
doing,
you
then you
could.
can really. Cade, you look frozen, bro. Seems like Cade is frozen. I hope it's not me, but I'm going to carry on here. All right, so now we come through
You can
here.
for 2 months. I'm just gonna trade Yuga assets only. Ooh, loading. Oh, I'm back. Can you also, if you guys can
You're
hear me,
back.
please give me a thumbs up. I have no idea if the stream is still streaming. Someone give me a thumbs up on Spaces.
All right, so the
right,
next
cool, we're
story
good.
that we got over here, a Pokemon company is looking for a Web3 expert. They've got a new role and they want to be moving into Web3. For those of you that don't know, Pokemon is the largest video game franchise in the world, and they've posted that they are looking for a Web3 expert, someone with deep knowledge and understanding of Web3, including blockchain technology, non-fungible tokens, and the metaverse. In addition, the candidates should be well connected with investors and entrepreneurs in the Web3 space. The prospect of Pokemon entering Web3 is going to excite many, many enthusiasts. Pokemon Company is a joint venture between video game giant Nintendo and game developers Game Freak and Creatures. So, Kate, I'm applying for this job, man, because this is really, really freaking cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I don't know many
dude.
VC funds. I know one.
Well, the Pokemon. This is exactly like why I've started to shift my content into more business related blockchain style of conversations, because I'm like, there's not many content creators talking about it, which means the pool of people to choose from is low for content. I like doing content. That's the only thing I'm really interested in. So for me, this is cool shit because yet another example, guys. How many do we need to add to the list before people start saying NFTs aren't a scam? Disney, Gucci, Shopify, Nike, Adidas, Disney, like and Pokemon now. Like at what point Porsche?
So Disney
like
twice,
Puma.
yeah.
Guys,
Reno,
but like
Disney.
it's just like, Disney. Let's talk about Disney. But like, how many Web2 companies, massive Web2 companies, who are saying, "Hey, let me just dip my toes in, get a little bit of a Web3 initiative." Starbucks, before
Starbucks is
people
very
just fucking
big.
chill, just like chill.
Yeah,
Like, yo,
no,
it's just
look,
an extra thing.
integration of blockchain technology is the future. My older sister works for a very, very large, one of the big three auditing firms in the world, and they also have just opened a blockchain division, and Web3. They've got a lot of requests for audits, and they want to understand it better. So listen, whether NFTs are in a bull market or not is irrelevant. The blockchain technology is not going anywhere. And it is the future, and people are starting to realize it. We're even seeing normal banks who hate crypto integrating blockchain technology into their banks so that they can transfer the way they do, but quicker using the blockchain. And then they've got the full ledger that's irrefutable. They can never ever be accused of changing anything because it's on the blockchain forever, and it's immutable. That's the whole point of it. So yeah, it's always bullish to see brands like this moving into the space and looking for experts. And Pokemon, yes, I will gladly accept. I haven't even heard the package, but I would gladly accept to help you on your journey. And I suggest that we bring on Kate Bergman as a consultant because he knows social media a lot better than me, and maybe you can hire both of us together. That would be great.
And can I add one thing before we move on from the Pokemon thing? Is
Yeah,
that
sure.
for people who maybe think that this is silly, and like I don't think anyone who's watching this is going to think that, but for a way to explain this to people who do think it's silly, which is I've made a lot of content on this. I'm like, yo, if you can't convince NFT people about NFTs, try this style of conversations. I've been making a lot of that content. It's been doing well. And one of the things is like, yo, they're just like, this isn't going to work. No one's going to want it. I'm like, really? You heard of Pokemon Go? You ever seen the amount of fucking people who show up for Pokemon Go events? It's absurd shit. I don't even do it because like I love Pokemon, but like I'm too fucking lazy to walk around and actually do it. Right now, I think in a reality where it's more ingrained in normal stuff rather than like in a big event, I think I probably will use it. But Pokemon Go is a massive thing. If you live in cities, especially, it is weird how many people walk around with Pikachu hats on Pokemon Go days, whatever it is. It's really weird. It's like you're walking in Tokyo all of a sudden. There's like 1,000 people on the street and they're all trying to catch Pokemon. People will do this shit. It's just got to make sense. And it's got to, like, when the timing in the market meets that demand, it hits and it will hit. And that's why I keep saying when the metaverse, when the gaming stuff, when that starts to become real and it's normal, the AR stuff becomes real, the glasses start to have features that are augmented reality, it'll make sense. And that's when people start to become degenerates again. When people are willing to spend money, exorbitant amounts of money to gamble on something that might blow up again, people will spend money. I don't know if it'll get to millions of dollars again, but people will spend money, dude. It's foolish to think that the market will never just become healthy or even a little bit greedy again. That's just not the case. We just seen it happen like 4 times with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's outperforming gold and stocks. Like, bruh, people were saying crypto's dead. I'm like, nah, fam. Someone just spent $1 million on a Bored Ape key. What are you talking about? Like sometimes, in some ways, in some aspects,
1.6 million, $1.6 million on the Bored Ape key. Look, I think what's happening at the moment is you've got a few very, very big whales that are trading amongst each other. Like you even said, Maki Big Brother, guys like that, and that's who's buying those things. I do think that the amount of Web2 companies that we saw dip their toes into Web3 when there was a bull market, Pepsi, Coke, Louis Vuitton, I mean, all of them came into the space. You name it, Gucci, all of them. So people definitely know. And some of them did it successfully. Nike did it successfully. Adidas have tried to do it successfully and are still trying, which is great. And I think they will get there. Puma. So the second you had someone like Nike come in and say, okay, this is a proof of concept. We made $60 million last year selling stuff through this model, which is what they made. All of a sudden, that gets the attention of Adidas. That gets the attention, of course, of Puma and all their normal competitors in their normal space. And that's the same thing when you've got a Starbucks coming in and showing that this works, and they are at the moment. There were a whole reward program. I'm not talking about the NFT side, which is 5 times what the mint price was. I'm saying the reward program is on the blockchain. It allows them to get insight in their customers, that allows them to personalize the rewards to their customers in a way they couldn't do before. It is working. Now you're going to see other fast food chains and similar type companies looking into this and paying close attention and coming into the space as well. And that's all it takes. And we're seeing that as one person in the vertical comes in. So we had Nike, all of a sudden the rest of them come in. As you had Gucci come in and do well, Louis Vuitton wants to see what's going on here, and so on and so forth. So yes, blockchain technology is 100% the future. NFTs, I think there will be space for the real amazing ones. I think, but like Gary Vee always said, most of them will go to zero. But the technology is here to stay.
Yep. Yeah, the tech is here, and the fun part of NFTs is you get that community that you get, and like even if they're small, dude, like people still fuck with small communities. Like there's no problem with that. Just because the floors, like there's I've talked about this multiple times in the show, but there's multiple projects that I'm very happy to be in that just don't have a high floor. I just literally don't care. Like I just don't care. It's cool. Like it just doesn't affect me. Like I'm a collector, and there are many collectors. And by the way, there are many people who think that way about projects. I'm in a lot of a lot of communities that are just chill, dude. I'm just hanging out. Like this 0.01, 0.04, 0.1. It's no problem, you know. And like I think it's okay to have that. It doesn't have to be a 10th floor for you to be happy there. For traders, yeah, for the degenerate traders, if that's what they care about, then yeah. Those are the only projects they're going to be in. But there's a lot of people who operate on a 0.01 to a 0.3, budget. Like they're just not going to spend more than that because it's really not fucking worth it for most of the people. And for those people, I think that's a large crowd of NFT people. And I think it's totally cool to market those to that level of people. My NFTs right now, dude, that's probably most of them. Like they're not going to spend anything more than like 1 ETH on my photography because like unless you're just rich and a collector for some reason, but they're cool to just buy them for 0.3, sell for 0.4, or buy it and hold,
So, Kate, a couple of things. First thing is I think you're 100% right. I think the social aspect to NFTs is incredible. I think the community building aspect to NFTs is incredible. And that could even be a free NFT. And if you get in and if you vibe with someone, I think on top of that, like everyone always says, your net worth is your network. And you can build relationships with real people, that will take you who knows where in the future. So I do definitely think that there's a use case to that. The other thing I wanted to ask you is I briefly saw something on your, and I didn't see it properly. We're on different time zones and whatever, but when I was looking for the spaces, I saw something about there's a couple more NFTs that are coming on the market from the George Kingdom, like a handful. Just tell me what's going on there.
Yeah. So I just put out a tweet literally today, and it's just really barely just cracking open the box of it. But I've been wanting to do it. I now have the time because I have editors. So I'm like, oh, I can finally start to do a couple of things that have been in the back of my mind, just on the back burner. One of those things is to finally release the Torch collection for the prequel, we're only like 6 months late. No problem. You know, no big deal. That was supposed to happen a while ago. And honestly, there just wasn't a reason to do it. And there still isn't really a reason to do it at any time. But I figured what time is better than literally right now? Like I can do this now. So what that video is saying is, hey, people don't even realize this because people don't even know I'm a YouTuber sometimes on Twitter. So I'm going to start making some content. It's going to be talking about my NFT photography pieces. I expect there'll be a little bit more interest in those collections. And when they go to the OpenSea, they're going to say, oh shit, I can't afford that because the floor is usually anywhere from 0.4 to 1 ETH. And they're going to be like, damn, well, I guess I can't buy that. And so I'm going to say, hey, the Torch collection is available. If you just want to be part of the Joy Age Kingdom, be on this journey with me, who knows what happens in the future. It's a very small collection. Every single collection I've dropped and will drop in the foreseeable future will be very small. The Torch collection is exactly that. If you're like, oh man, I would love to buy like a t-shirt, but I kind of want to buy an NFT, but I can't afford this one. The Torches are that for that. The Torch collection for the Joy Age Kingdom is already there. It's available. The floor is 11 ETH on it. That's obviously like no one's going to pay that. So it's just like throw some wrapped ETH offers if you're trying to get in for those current collections. But the Torch collection for the prequel, which is my second collection, which is a photography collection. The torches for that collection are going to be available at some point in the next couple months. I'm going to be making content about the prequel so that people have more context on what that collection even is. It's basically the year leading up to my Joy Age, which is living in the car, the trip, all that stuff that led to me doing YouTube. And the prequel is the precursor to all that. And so the torches will be for those collections. If you hold 2 torches, if you hold an access key, one of my photography pieces, you now have the ability and the utility if you want to swap for an alternate. I haven't uploaded the alternates yet because the torches aren't there. But once that's there, if you're a holder of an access key, the torches, I believe I sold them publicly for 0.06 ETH. And if you're a holder, they were either free or 0.03 ETH. I forget exactly how I rolled it out. Not sure how it's going to be rolled out. There will probably be around 30 to 40 of them in the Torch collection. It's usually around 2 times because people have to hold 2 to get the utility if they're an access key holder. And then for the final access key collection, which is going to be called the sequel, because we got the prequel, the Joy Age, the final one's going to be the sequel. That'll be the last access key, more than likely. At least for a long fucking time. That will also have like anywhere from 10 to like 30 photography pieces, and the Torch collection for that will also be 30 to 40 NFTs because I don't really care to have more than like that many NFTs for what I can do currently. You know, maybe things change, and I think at some point it will. I think when I'm big enough, I can drop a bigger collection in the thousands. Who knows? And that'll be the exact same thing. It's like, yo, if you want to be on this Joy Age, if you associate yourself with what the Joy Age means, rolling the dice on yourself, things like that, then that's really all it is, you know, and like, who knows what comes from that? You know, there might be some kind of inherent utility that comes in the future that pops up at the right time. I don't know, dude. I'm just here. I know I'm a winner. Awesome. I always win at some point, and I'm on a long game because content has always been the one thing that stuck with every other hobby I did. It was always content involved.
Awesome. Cool. I'm happy that you could talk about it. And yeah, I'll be watching it. I would bet on you. So yeah, man, for sure. All right. Speaking about Web2 companies coming to Web3, got a whole lot of stuff. No, I wouldn't. I would hold it like I'm capable of holding some things, believe it or not. I've still got my Wolf Boy social. I like those guys. I'm still holding it. How's that? All right. Planet Hollywood and Animoca brands. So we know Animoca brands recently launched their own OG collection, Mocaverse. They revealed, I don't particularly like the art, but we covered them 2 weeks ago. So if on the Freestyle Friday show, so if you want to have a look, there's a standalone video. Just type in Mocaverse on my YouTube, you'll find it. However, they've partnered with Planet Hollywood, and this is giving you access into a members only club, so a physical location, a Planet Hollywood, that only holders of this NFT will be able to go to. And this is what I was talking about earlier, saying, you know, just being an NFT collection is not in and of itself a reason for people to buy. However, if you have an existing amazing company like Planet Hollywood and you can get access to something that no one else can get access to by holding this digital membership card, then that is where we're going to see the future of NFTs be. And I think this is so cool, and I can definitely see it doing really well.
Oh yeah, dude, very cool stuff. I need to see the art because you say you weren't a fan.
Oh, of Mocaverse. Let me go there. So just to tell you a little bit more about this, it's in LA, in California, on Sunset Boulevard, and it's going to be a physical meeting place for the community, a 10,000 square feet facility. It will have dedicated areas where you can do community meetups, talks, experiences, and seminars. Ultimately, Animoca and Meta Hollywood plan to expand Club 3 all around the world, but this will be their first one. And then there's a whole lot of benefits, social benefits, global, corporate, and so on. So there's going to be like networking events. They do plan to have some sort of token where, and also have their memorabilia items tokener. But yeah, I mean, I just think it's really, really bullish. I think it's so cool to see such a big Web2 company as Planet Hollywood getting involved here, which I think is lacquer.
Dude, I'm right there with you. I've reached out to Momo Guru's co-founder. We're gonna have him on the show at some point. So I'm really excited to talk to Momo Guru. I'd love to talk to like Animoca, because like these companies that are legit already just doing Web3 initiatives, that is it's just interesting, because like they can do the things that we want them to be able to do that the PFPs literally just can't do. They are hiring Web3 people who are trying to appease people. These companies are going to do their thing. They were always going to do their thing. They just have this extra component. And like, that's the companies I want to talk to. This is cool as shit. Colton Rain, same thing. Colton Rain, just to have them on the show the other day. They're doing the same shit. They're a normal company. They want to have a Web3 component. They want to do like a little bit of a where to earn. They're not where to earn, but like NFC chips and stuff like that. Dude, I'm down. That's so different than what we're seeing. And it's so interesting. It's like so refreshing to see companies like that. So this is cool. I also think this art is kind of like it's fine. It's a little bit whack, I'm not gonna lie, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we just all growing up a bit. Maybe this would have been the hottest thing. I don't think it's too terrible.
Oh,
yeah. I don't know. It's just not amazing. I wouldn't use it as my PFP personally. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I'm
I mean,
kind of in
it's
that
just
same boat with
weird.
you.
Looks a bit
Yeah.
weird. But look, they're holding well. One ETH floor price, not too bad.
True.
I'm
Wow,
trying to remember what they meant.
Before?
Yeah, that's weird, hey? Sometimes offers get stuck. So someone put in an offer and then they don't have enough WETH and then it gets stuck. But I mean, look, they've come down from a high of 1.9 ETH. The next day they were 1.6. The next day 1.6. Next day 1.5 ETH. The next day 1.3. So they've slowly been bleeding. They're now sitting at 1 ETH. But again, I mean, Animoca, big in the space, just because they are investing in gaming companies doesn't mean that they have the potential to build an amazing game. They might not. But still, I'd feel a lot more comfortable holding a VC firm's NFT that's heavily invested in the Web3 space through their investments in other brands than just a random NFT project, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't have too many thoughts on that. Honestly, I just need to pee. Can I pee? I'll be right back in like 1 minute.
Yeah,
Just, I
we'll
right
give you
before
permission.
This.
You
right,
are
lit.
excused. All right, so
back.
we've had a really, really busy week with USDC depegging. Literally after last week's show, we saw something that we thought like it was the stable coin, is the stable coin USDC, well known, you know, for holding its peg, holding its value of 1 to the dollar. And we saw that depeg. We saw it going all the way as low as 88 cents, which is crazy to see. And the reason behind it is that they had some exposure to Silicon Valley Bank. They had 3.3 billion of their reserve in Silicon Valley Bank. And then, as we covered in last week's show, Silicon Valley Bank's was, you know, we didn't know at that stage that they were going to be bailed out, and they were really the bank of you know, these type of venture funds and all these type of technology companies. If you had a technology startup, you probably had a bank account with SVB. And the nice thing about them was they were actually a very big Web2 bank before crypto at all. I mean, they were a normal bank, they're top 16 bank in America, and they were just well favored because they were in San Francisco where all of this happened, and all of these sort of venture firms they were well known for being very friendly to technology companies. So a lot of people were affected by this, but then we had the government come out and they said, look, anyone who had any money with SVB, whether they be a person or a company, that money will be underwritten by the government. So if you had $1 million in SVB, you can withdraw $1 million. The government will make sure. Now, remember, by default, you only covered up to $250,000. If you had $2.5 million there, you could have effectively lost everything except for 250,000. So, in a roundabout way, the irony is that the US government, by saving SVB's deposits and underwriting them, actually ended up bringing USDC back to 1-to-1. So even though government's been so anti-crypto, they had to save SVB, because if they don't underwrite those deposits, there would be a bank run on all the banks in America, and everyone will be in massive trouble. The government can't afford for that to happen. Now, the irony also is that they've been printing in the last week, and we've got the Fed printing again, $2 billion again has been put back in by them underwriting this. And we've literally gone from a stage where we were tightening all the way back to pre-COVID or just when COVID happened, where we're printing again. And that's really why we're seeing the crypto price doing what it is doing at the moment and being so bullish, because this is when the Fed started printing during COVID, that was the beginning of Bitcoin 10xing. And that's what's happening now. And that's why we're seeing this happening. Now, it happened really quick. People were thinking that the interest rates would be cut another, hiked another 50 basis points this time around. Now people are saying there probably will be no hike, and if anything, it might be even cut. So we've pretty much, in the last 7 days, completely turned over from where we were. And that's really quite bullish for crypto. We've turned a corner, in effect.
Dude, I made some content about this whole government bailout stuff. I just love thought-provoking content, because there's so many ways it could go. When they said they're going to bail out all the banks too, I was like, damn, a lot of money you're going to bail out. I don't know how that's going to happen. They're like, oh, taxpayers, like taxes. And I was like, what? Taxes? Like, I don't know about that, dude. So I don't know. I would be very interested to see.
No, so they specifically said it's not coming from taxpayer money on the US side. Okay. They specifically said that. Okay. Whether so it's coming out of the insurance fund that's for banks, specifically underwritten by the Fed. Whether because of this, the banks have to pay higher premiums going forward, that will eventually be passed on to the banking customer, that remains to be seen. But they specifically said that it's not going to be from taxpayer money.
Do you hear that? I hear like a printer. I just hear a printer somewhere. I just hear like a guys. If you're enjoying this show, please hit that retweet button, and if you're in YouTube, hit the comments, the likes, subscribe to Philip's channel. By the way, if you're enjoying this conversation, because this is a fun one. It's it's fun every single fucking week, honestly. But dude, the idea that the government can just keep doing this kind of stuff, saying, oh, like we'll just pay it off later. I'm like, bro, you're already $45 trillion in debt. What do you mean you're gonna pay it later? You've never paid off anyone ever. Like, you're already trillions of dollars in debt. Like, that doesn't even make sense. I'm down though. I'm down for them to give me money too, like UBI. Like, listen, sign me up, bro. I don't know how it's gonna happen. I'm sure my life will get tremendously worse once I sign up for all the conditions that I have to meet to get an extra $1,000 a month. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited for. Well, I don't know if excited is the right word, but I'm looking forward to seeing how the world develops and changes over the next 5 years.
Listen, this is not so positive in general. I mean, because this is the reason that we had all the tightening for the last year was because they printed money like they're doing now again, and that devalued the dollar, the real value of the dollar, which is not good for the average consumer. It's good for crypto. Right. For Bitcoin specifically, because Bitcoin's whole thing is that they've got a limited supply. There will only ever be, I think it's 2.1 million Bitcoins or whatever it may be, and they can't print more. So I don't understand why it has to be so extreme. Why do they have to print so much during COVID? That almost half the total American dollar supply was printed in a couple of weeks, and then they have to so sharply hike rates and until they break every single bank, and now they have to quickly start printing trillions of dollars again. Why does it have to be so extreme? Why can't it just be slower and more cautious and less crazy? It just makes it volatile. And the one person who was buying USDC when it depegged was Vitalik Buterin, the Ethereum co-founder. If you follow his wallets, he was buying a lot.
Wow. At what number?
So
Like
he
80.
bought at a 5% discount when it was 95 cents. He bought $286,000 when it was 95 cents. He then did 2 transactions for $28,000 when it was a 7% discount. And then he took another, I mean, it's not huge money when you think of how much the guy has. And then he took a total of $85,000 when it was a 12% discount. So you can see even he was starting to get worried. He slowly was taking less and less as it went lower and lower. But yeah, man, it just shows you, I mean, the right move to do there, if you ever see something like a USDC depegging again, the right move to do, if you know how to do it, is to just short it, because the chances of it going to $1.1 is nothing. It's never going to be worth more than one. So you put a stop loss at $1. When it gets back to normal, everything's good, but you short it. You say, as it goes down, I want to make money. So your downside is that it hits $1 again, which it will do at some point, and you get stopped out. Maybe if you shorted it from 98 cents, you lose 2% if it goes to $1. But if it carries on dropping and it drops all the way to 88 cents like it did, your upside is you made a huge amount of money. You 10x pretty much. You got 10 times the leverage that you would have got on the downside. So that was the play. The play there, if you know how to do it, which I need to learn, because I don't, is to have shorted as soon as you saw it depegging with a stop loss.
Yeah, that's, I mean, dude, I'm literally learning trading stuff. So all these words, I'm like, damn, I've been hearing a lot of this stuff recently. So I'm excited for myself to be trading, but I think you're very much on point right there.
For sure. All right. And then we've got Ethereum, our good friends Ethereum. They've given a full date for the Shanghai update. For those of you that don't know, this will allow people who stake to finally withdraw. They have said that it's not going to be immediate that you can withdraw your full amount. But the date that they've been given now, the official date is the 12th of April. We do know with Ethereum and with these roadmap items on the Ethereum side, they often do miss their dates. However, the date for now has been set for the 12th. And yeah, this is, people have been worried short term what it will do to Ethereum, because a lot of people who had their money staked that was locked, they weren't able to touch it, can now touch it. Most people staked when it was about $500 to $600. That's how long it's been staked, and it's now sitting at 1,600, 1,700. They would quite happily 4x. So that's why they're starting to say here that they're going to limit the full amount you can withdraw for 18 months. So you will be able to withdraw some, but you won't be able to withdraw everything that you've got staked. I think that's quite a good move, because otherwise you could have a bit of a run to the negative side, a run on the crypto. However, if I was someone who staked it and I was told that through the Shanghai fork, I would be able to now touch my ETH again, and now all of a sudden, hold on, you can touch it, but you're going to be rate limited and you can't take all of it at once, I would be quite upset, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just going to echo you there. Nothing to add. Pretty much just echo you exactly. I would be pissed.
Yeah. So it will take over 18 months to get your full amount out over certain levels, right?
Yeah, man. I just yeah.
Fuck. Not ideal, but good overall for Ethereum, but not great if you were a staker, which I wasn't, but still feel it.
Staking was just always sketchy, man. I just never trusted staking. I was like, bro, that doesn't sound so, like, you have to have a ton of money for even bother to stake, in my opinion. Like, all these people who are YouTubers were saying, like, stake your money. I'm like, bro, you're talking to people stack, like, they're going to stake what, $1,000 for what, $30 of worth of staking? I mean, it's not even worth it at that point. Like, if you've got $100,000, it's different. But for most people, if you're not rich, staking is just not really worth it, in my opinion. I don't know. That's just maybe that's just my thoughts, but I don't know.
I think that's probably your view is a very correct view in NFTs, but I don't think it applies fully when it comes to like your huge chains, right? Like Ethereum. I don't know.
But if you have like $1,000 ETH and you're making what, pretend it's 9% a year, like Voyager had with USDC, like $100, you know, like it's just not worth risking, in my opinion, with the staking if you don't have enough money to stake. Like, bro, that's just for me. Like, that's basically the attitude I took. I was like, I'm not gonna stake. I don't have enough money sitting in here for it to be worth the risk of being staked.
Yeah, but if you did have enough money and interest rates were 0%, and so effectively, if you had $1 million and you put that in the bank, you would have $1 million. But the US dollar is worth, inflation's 4%, the US dollar is worth 4% less. So you're actually losing money by having it sitting in the bank. Whereas if you put it here, you could get 5, 10 guaranteed percent return. That's why, crypto was doing so well at that stage, because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
part of why the hiking of interest rates now, that they keep doing, people are like, hold on, like, yeah, I'm guaranteed in a bank account to get 5% interest. Why would I risk it by putting it in a shitcoin or whatever at this point? Whereas before it was worth the risk because you'd get nothing by having it in the bank.
But it's still a question of how much money you have. It's worth it if you have $1 million. It's not worth it, in my opinion, if you have 1,000, no matter what it is. Like, even if it's 20%, with $1,000, you're risking. You're only like, it means you don't have that much money if that's how much you're risking. You know, if you have $1 million, of course it's worth to risk at 5% because it's not worth sitting in a bank. Like, in my opinion, I think you're absolutely right. But for smaller fish, dude, like, just use that money and try and learn skills so you can get better at making money, so you can just make more money and then use that money to make more money. And like, that's just the way I've built, and it's worked for
No,
me.
I agree. I agree. I think crypto is a rich man's game. I don't
Yeah.
think the average person out there should be delving in it. It's high risk unless you know exactly what you're doing and are sitting in front of your computer all the time. I mean, yeah, USDC was safe. It's a stable coin, in your mind. You go to
Yeah.
bed, you wake up, and your $1 is now worth 88 cents.
Dude.
It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? You got to literally be plugged into it all the time, and you got to be able to write that money off if it goes to zero. So for the average guy who's still, paying rent and whatever, this is not the game for them. Maybe have a tiny bit of your savings in a high risk asset like crypto, but we've always said the same thing, you and I. This isn't to be used. Don't take your rent money and use it for stuff like this, really.
And people need to hear that, by the way. Like, everyone knows that, but how many of y'all are actually applying that? It took me a while before Philip grained in my head, because I was like, yo, like, I got a little bit extra money, but like, I know I got to pay rent later and do this other thing, but like this NFT, he's like, no. Do, like, use that money for living, because you need to keep the lights on. That way you can buy the NFT later. He's like, you buy the NFT now, you risk not being able to keep the lights on. And I was like, God damn it. Fuck. He's right. God damn it. No, like, I don't want it to be true. And there's a lot of people who are in that boat. I don't want it to be true. So I'm just going to buy the NFT anyway. It's a very risky game to play. We're not a liquid. It's not always liquid what you're buying, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I remember a couple of things growing up. I remember when Bianca and I met, I never used to spend money on much at all. I was wearing the same clothes as before. She said to me, like, and she loved me for me. And she says to me, let's go shopping. Like, your shirts all have holes in them. I'm like, yeah, who cares? It's just a shirt. I'm trying to pay off my this and my that and my that. I had a friend before Bianca's time, close friend of mine, and I went to university after school, so I didn't have as much time to make money because I was studying. I did have two jobs at the time. I worked as you know, as a supplement guy in the pharmacy. I worked as a waiter before that, and then I started Perkel in the background. But I didn't have the time he had, and I just watched. He was working straight out of school, so he was earning money when I was barely earning anything. And he was spending his money and he was renting a small place somewhere. And every time I saw him, he had a new pair of Nikes or a new pair of this or that or whatever. And I said to him, bro, like, don't you want to rather save so that you don't have to rent and whatever? And I mean, look, I haven't spoken to him. We lost touch about 15 years ago or something. So I don't really know where he's at. But at that stage, I had finished university and I was already had paid off one property and he was still renting, not the same place, but somewhere else because the flashy stuff was more important to him. I was driving this beat up Volkswagen Golf CTR, whatever, and he was driving this beautiful new Toyota, whatever. And I just saved. I saved and saved and saved and saved in the beginning to have the luxury to be able to speculate with a bit now. So yeah, I mean, my thoughts on it.
True.
This is
Hell
not the
yeah, dude.
time to be buying anything amazing. It's the time to be saving. Okay, next story we got ChatGDP. Everyone knows about it. They've released GDP-4. Okay, so this is recent. Now, the interesting thing here is that it's still based on the old results. So remember, ChatGDP is only up to date with current events up to about 2021, early 2021, 2020, 2021. Okay, so if you try ask it like current events now, it doesn't know what's potting. They're still working on that. However, GPT-4 is much more advanced in a lot of other ways, much safer and much better responses. It's already been rolled out to Bing, and I'm actually going to show and tell you guys how you can get access to it straight away without paying a cent. Because if you go through to OpenAI, you actually have to pay for it at this point, and it's delayed and whatever. So I'm going to show you a very easy way to get it. But we'll just talk about it. It did the bar exam, which is the exam that you would do if you were becoming a lawyer. It did MBA, and it was able to score like 90% on these tests, which is absolutely incredible. Whereas the GPT number 3, I think, failed some of those tests. So it's definitely been proven to be a lot better. And for those of you on YouTube and not on Twitter, you can see what I'm showing now. It shows the original ChatGDP response versus the new ChatGDP response, and it's a lot more precise, a lot better worded, and they've fixed a whole lot of stuff. So you can see here on the bar exam, ChatGDP got 10%, whereas ChatGDP 4 got 90%. On a biology Olympiad, ChatGDP, the normal one, got 31%, whereas ChatGDP 4 got 99%, right? So it's really, really a lot better than it was before. They've been working on it for the last 6 months. They've made it a lot faster. It's also safer, meaning that it's less likely by 80% to respond to requests that are disallowed. So things like, that you wouldn't want your child to hear or whatever it may be. And it's also 40% more likely to produce factual responses than GPT 3.5 was. So it's one level up. It's an upgrade, which is really cool. It can also recognize images now, which it couldn't do before. Research side of things, it's a huge milestone on the research side. It's been trained with Microsoft Azure AI supercomputers. This ChatGPT 4, it still has the normal limitations that it had before, such as working on social biases and advertiser prompts and things like that. But they are working on that. And it's quite cool. It's just like we saw ChatGPT take over the market a few weeks ago, and now they've done a massive upgrade to it.
NFT projects, take fucking notes, dude. Delivering results. Way to go. This is late. I mean, the only thing I have really to say is that, power of AI is so beyond crazy that I can't believe the hype died down and people literally just forgot about it. Like, guys, I'm using ChatGPT every day right now to help my content. I input it, I reiterate it, I find a better hook, a more interesting hook. I ask it a question about one specific thing on it. Can I change the way this was said? Like, ChatGPT is fucking lit. It's really, really helpful, and this is cool. How did you say you get it for free?
I'm going to show you now.
You want to say it?
I do want to say it because by giving it is great. So all you need to do is go to bing.com. You need to sign up. And there used to be a waiting period. So I'm going to show you how to do it, but I just want this to load. There used to be a waiting period, which is no longer there. So it does say sign up for waitlist, but then straight away it gives you access. So
wow.
I'm going to take you through now. I don't know why it's loading so slow here. It's a bit strange.
It might be that everyone's trying to get on it right now. It's on the stream trying to get it.
Yeah, from our stream. That's hilarious. Other things that it can do that it couldn't do before. I'll show you over here. It coded games, basic games like Snake and things like that. It was able to completely code them perfectly. So all you need to do is go into Bing and then click the try now or sign up. For some reason, it isn't actually loading now. And then it says sign up for waitlist. You click yes, and then it says, well done, you've got access. Because they're trying to give more people access to it. And then you do need to use it in Microsoft Edge, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but it does say if you want full functionality, open in Microsoft Edge, you click and it opens in Microsoft Edge. So yeah, definitely worth doing, guys. And it's really quite cool the way it's gone.
Yeah.
But then the interesting thing that we want to see over here is the implication of this on crypto, right? So before we get into it, Kate, I just want to, anyone on Twitter Spaces, this is our last story. So feel free, if you want to ask questions or chat, to request to speak. And then, Kate, while we're doing this last story, you can call guys up. And then after the story, we'll have a Q&A together and just chat to anyone who wants to chat.
Cool. Yeah, guys, if you want to do it, there was like 20 people in here at one point. There's still 15 of y'all. So fuck yeah, shout out to you guys in here in the spaces. If you guys want to come up, just throw the request. I'll bring you up. We don't have too much on the time because we're already coming up on 2 hours. But if you have something to add, just hit that request button, fam.
100%. So this one's not going to be long. It's part of the last story. It's just there is implications for crypto with this new chat GDP-4. So because the prior version underpinned there was enabled to had limitations that this one doesn't. There's actually people who are using this as an arbitrage to be able to find weaknesses in smart contracts and do hacks. So this week there was a hack for $200 million of Elo Finance, which is a DeFi platform, and they strongly believe that AI was involved in that attack, because it could monitor in real time and figure out the system and then find the places of vulnerabilities, and it was able to get in and attack it. So, if you do have a DeFi project or crypto project or something like that, I do think it's important to find out what new risks come to the forefront by this new technology. I think it's really important for any business, but more so if you are actually holding tokens or other people's funds, to find out, okay, this technology is brilliant. It can learn things on the go. How does that affect my company? Is my company at risk of being attacked or hacked as a result of it?
Damn, dude. Damn. They're coming out with some shit, dude. Wow. Moving quick.
Yeah.
This is why people are like, who are like, oh, this isn't going to happen. I'm like, it's going to take like another 100 years. I'm like, bruh, are you kidding me? AI learns from itself. That's why it's going to go so fast. It's so much faster than us because it doesn't need to go through human error. It's just like, oh, this didn't work. Fix it. Boom. Done. Fix. Next one. Boom. Done. Fix. Like it's going to be quick, dude. Metaverse is going to come quick. Things like AR, augmented reality, they're going to come quick because it always it just interlocks itself within all the other industries. That's why it's just so exciting. So exciting stuff.
Yeah, so the other side of it is just like it opens vulnerabilities, you can also use ChatGPT to find problems in your smart contract and security vulnerabilities. Nice. So yeah, it's got its good and its bad, right?
Yeah, no, 100%, dude, 100%. Cool shit.
For sure. And that's all we got, guys. So Q&A time. If there's anyone in spaces, feel free. And let me jump onto Twitter here and see who we got here.
You disappeared, by the way, your face. I don't know where you went, but disappeared on spaces.
Okay.
But no one has requested, so doesn't look like we have any questions. I think it's probably because we've fucking covered everything super in depth. Like I don't think there's like literally any questions left. But there was plenty of people here in spaces. I think we had an all-time high of like 25 people in here at once for a little bit. So that was pretty cool. We had, typically there's about 15. So that's dope, dude. I'm down. We'll take that for the first time ever. Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you to everyone who joined, whether it be on Spaces, whether it be on, listen, we stream to LinkedIn, to Twitch, to Facebook even. So anyone who joined from anywhere, YouTube, obviously, thank you very much. We'll be doing it definitely next week the same way on Twitter Spaces. Thank you to Cade for hosting this and for pushing me to do this, because I think it's great. Obviously, we need to iron out some things, maybe see how I can co-host as well, which we got working and then stopped working. But either way, it was really great to have you. And guys, same time, same place. Every single Friday, Kate and I do this 9:30 p.m. CEST. We go through all the latest Web3 news, NFT news, anything going on in the market. And especially if you haven't had a chance to keep up to date with everything, it's really a great place to be able to see everything that's happened during the week and just be put up to date. And now you know what's happened the last 7 days and you stand in a much more educated space. So thank you, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Kate, anything else, my brother?
Yeah, if you're in Spaces, hit that retweet button, bottom right icon. If you enjoy this space, we're going to be doing it every Friday, like you said. It's going to be on Spaces. Hit that retweet, hit the likes. We want to be able to bring you all the best stuff. It helps us out tremendously. So again, yeah, if you enjoyed it, hit that like button. Also, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to Philip's channel. Lots of content's coming out. He's all over Twitter now. Man's posting videos. Also, I will say, Philip, before we pop out of here, there's something I was going to mention about video stuff. So like after we're live. So anyways, yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. Keep safe. Be kind. We'll see you next week. Ciao.
And Twitter is done.